Hi, Magda.
Hi, how are you?
Thank you. I'm better. Finally, I got
Oh,
over the cold.
great, thanks.
Okay, so we're gonna start. Yes. Oh, we still have 2 minutes. Das weiß ich nicht, aber ich werde morgen zu ihr in die Praxis fahren. Also entweder ist sie unterwegs oder irgendwas, keine Ahnung.
Samstag nicht da, heute nicht.
Ja, aber Freitag war sie da.
Freitag war sie da?
Ja. Sowas kann vorkommen. Besser die als wir. Hi. お願いします。お願いします。I'm losing my voice again. uchi dozo. Hai, 息をどうぞ。Okay. So it's always the same discussion. Do we do kata no keiko or is it waza? Because you're also experienced, so we can work on this, the function. First of all, just turn it sideways. I want you to be able to do this from your impact in Shomen Uchi, not this. So if you're, well, there is an opportunity to even go in Yaku position and perform impact. But it's very, very unlikely that you have a strong impulse if your center is elevated and your feet are not connected to the ground while trying to give this force or punch. So of course, this is my interpretation. Maybe you learn different, or we learn different for sure, different kinds of idea for Shomen Uchi. Shomen means the front, and Uchi is a punch. So it's my interpretation, if I want to attack the other side, please, I can like punching from front. But in this moment where I reach out to the forehead of Björn, my stance is very grounded, so I can create this impulse. If I would be like up or even moving, it's a different thing. So if my distance is not correct and I need to move like this to reach, this will change the kind of impact or energy what I can provide. Now, of course, this is specific training. It's not like the mainstream style. Usually, for instance, as far as I know from Hombu Dojo, usually you take one step from back to front, the same in the French kind of teaching. But Nendo Sensei, we always come from the very close distance, just inside, outside of the reach. So I cannot reach Björn, but he cannot reach me either. I'm not here. No, I cannot attack at all. And if I'm trying to get forward, I need to prepare everything before you can reach me, but be able to provide the shomen-uchi. So please try this out. Think about the same distance concept. You're just outside of the reach, and then you come forward and you deliver a punch. Now, of course, my forearm doesn't swing high, but you can actually practice that too. But then turn your hand, your palm towards the shoulder and not the edge of the hand, because it's a little bit unstable and it can crack your wrist, and also it will hurt a little bit more than this kind of attack. But the idea is, in fact, to deliver this kind of feeling, this kind of energy, so that we make the partner move. Do you want to try? Yeah, this was a little bit, to the top and not so much moving me. So the direction of impact was like, okay, this is better. So it makes me move. I don't resist to that. I just want to feel what's coming. Maybe this is even better. If you take this hand, it's better. So, yes, there's something like impulse into my body. Okay, we try that a little bit first. Right. Onegaishimasu. Nicht drücken. Es geht nicht darum, den Partner zu bewegen. Der hat ja nur die Funktion, das anzunehmen. Sondern es ist in dem Moment, wo du ankommst, in der stillen Position, diesen Impuls unmittelbar geben. Okay, ist besser.
Dieselbe Seite? Nee, ich meinte nicht so. Machen wir nicht die gleiche oder egal?
Wir machen immer die. Ich würde nicht so rumgehen, das ist von der Mechanik her nicht so schlau. So, ist besser. Ja, andere Seite. Ja, aber die ganze Bewegung, nicht bloß den Schubser, sondern als würdest du Shomen-uchi attackieren. Das ist zu kurz. Mach die ganze Schwungbewegung. Ich komme zu dir. Andere Seite. Okay. Oh. Mit der Ausholbewegung ist besser, als wenn man. Okay. Nicht den Kopf nach unten, weil das nimmt die Schulter in eine andere Position und lässt den Oberkörper anders funktionieren. Okay. Ja, ist noch ein bisschen Druck aus dem Oberkörper anstatt von der Hüfte. Ein Zentrum muss dahinter kommen. Okay. Dann zielgenau. Diese eigentlich driftet die Hüfte vor und überträgt den Impuls. Das ist mehr als noch der Arm das macht. Okay. don't use so much time as a preparation, like. Because if you really want to apply the Shomen-uchi and you show I'm gonna attack Sue, he would probably choose changing distance or coming in or whatever. You just apply immediately. Okay, okay, that's good. So. Of course, that's a conceptual work. You know, it's not kata no kiko. Now, would you agree that in this moment where I hand over or do this impact, my body is fully supporting towards this point. So it's actually not stiff but stabilized. It's not somehow somewhere weak. If my arm would be flexible to bend, I cannot do the same. If my hip would not be supported by my legs, it would drive back or somewhere. So in this moment, to make him move, I'm completely stable. And in this direction, fully supported to the ground. Okay? Now, could you please take this position, what I was showing? Like if you would just do this Shomen-uchi and keep this position then. You do your Shomen-uchi towards my shoulder, like before. No, this side. And keep and keep the position when you're finished. Well, but this hasn't moved me at all. With the impulse, yes.
Stop at the
No,
point.
you just go and then keep the position after doing this. Well, a little bit out of target. A lot of pressure from the upper body. Okay, stay there. So now, if I would feel this, of course, you're super stable to this direction. In this direction, you can hold a lot because it's the, let's say, reason why there is such an impulse towards me. Now, towards this side, there's no stability at all. Okay, you just take a position like to the front, super stable. I check it. Yeah, okay, I check, okay, keep this. And then move your partner from the side. The other side, take a position as if you would have just done this. Don't overextend your elbow. Now become stable. I check, okay, now I just move you sideways. It's not EQ as you see. It's not the form. But I want you to understand this constellation, this setup. The other way around, please. So we check. Is this stable? No. Yes. Okay. I'm really leaning against him, right? Now I take my second hand and I bring him across the position of his legs. Okay? Could you try that? Dozo. Ja, nimm die andere Hand, ne? Genau, dann kannst du, ja, aber trotzdem. Hi, yoshimasu. Okay, try again. Okay, check this. That's a good example, even for YouTube. So, we have the same setup. Please, yeah, as if you would have just attacked. Philip is the attacker now. You come and bring him outside, Michael. Now, you see what happened. Ooh, this was a little bit better than before, but I saw when you were moving this point, you were actually just moving his arm out, okay? So you were pushing this point out, so this arm was moving out, but he didn't lose the balance. Now, what I was saying is, I don't want you to just push this form aside, but move him across the entire body. So basically, this arm doesn't move so much. Actually, it's like a, how do you say, like a fixed point. So if I want to move him sideways, it's not here moving, and it's also not pushing this point away. It's moving his body sideways. So I have to extend the feeling towards the entire body of it, not only against the arm. And it's super important not to push by upper body or by arms, but from your center, to bring your center behind this pushing point. Okay? Go again. Stell dir vor, das ist gerade gegen die Stirn geschossen. So, wir prüfen, ja, ist stabil. Und dann gucken wir, ob wir die Bewegung hinkriegen. Also du gibst sozusagen ein Objekt, ein statisches Objekt, auch wenn du nicht ganz statisch sein kannst. Nicht runter, nur seitwärts. Ja, da, seitwärts. Dahin. Komm mal zu mir. So, ne? Nicht runter, bleib aufrecht. Dein Zentrum gibt diesen Impuls. Und ich will dich seitwärts bewegen. Okay? Ja, als ob wir diesen Schlag hier abbekommen und dann seitwärts. Ohne Schritt. Jetzt noch nicht. Okay. Okay, now observe your position. Vorsicht mit dem Arm, der wird niemals so voll ausgedehnt sein im Moment des Impacts. Kein Schritt. Ja. Jetzt hast du ihn nach da geschoben, aber er soll hierhin bewegt werden.
Aber ich versuche schon immer nach vorne den Druck zu halten, oder? Nicht den.
Nimm mal die andere Seite. Du bist nach hierhin stabil, aber die Wirkrichtung ist quer dazu.
Ja, was ich mal als Uke,
Du bleibst drin.
Ich mache nicht das, sondern ich habe schon Ausdehnung zu dir.
Du bist stabil. So. Und dann quer dazu bewegen. Ja. Mach mal keinen Schritt nach vorne. Nee, sondern das. Okay. Yes, so this is just a preparation, again, a prelude for using or feeling or finding out how to bring my center, my physical center and my leg work behind this kind of point. And according to his positioning, because in this direction he's super stable, finding the cross way. So I can extend. Usually, of course, we have both hands on this board. And this happening should be exactly in the moment of attack and touch. So in this kind of application of this form way, of this structure, you can call it ikkyo, but it's not kata no keiko, not kata ikkyo as we would define it. I just want to reach out towards the attacker's arm and move sideways, because that makes him come into this situation, losing his balance. Now this has to be exactly in the moment when he attacks. I should not stop him first or move against him, what would make it stop, because then it would be probably reasonable for you to change your idea of attack. So if I would try to do this mistake, stop, so why shouldn't he change if I make him stop suddenly? Now, if you try that to change your attack, but still attack with the first arm real, so it's, I hope you understand. I want to create the situation where there is no chance for him to change and try to get the other arm in action or whatever, because it happens just in the moment where he attacks, the very first moment. Now, maybe you felt, come back to this preparation just from before, that it is not much needed to make this movement. It's actually my center, what is supported by the legs, what turns towards the partner's arm and outwards. Okay. So please try to find exactly this kind of mechanics within the correct timing. What should be now? So if I would be late, I cannot do that anymore. If I'm not reaching out to the partner in the same moment where you reach out towards me. If I'm too early, of course, yeah, it was a joke, sorry. It's not working. So it must be exactly now. And you read this timing by the motion of your partner. So if you're both quiet and silent and still now, as soon as Björn starts moving his arm and come forward, I need also to move my arms. Now, you saw how he changed his weight balance and started to move up his arm to attack. This is exactly the start signal. Okay? Just try this initial impact and counter. Okay. We were just still working on this initial meeting. So, okay, just remember what I was showing before. I'm not sure. Did I have my hakama down or up? Was it like this or like that? maybe like this. And just remember, how many steps was I doing receiving the shominuchi? 0. Exact. How many steps did you do? Maybe some? Some did some steps? Or moved the feet a little bit? Okay, so now, once again, the idea was to be able to do this. So I want to reach out to this point and use my center, wherefore I need a solid connection to the ground. If I would step, of course it's also possible to step. This is not the question, but it's a different technique. So if I step and then move, of course, it's possible. Now, we reduce the ability of doing this step work to 0 because it's so short and the distance and the attack is so quick that there's no time to step but just to be ready behind this point with a full body motion from center without stepping. Okay? Again. Hast du einen Schritt gemacht?
Ich glaube nicht.
Okay.
Aber wenn du das so fragst, eine komplizierte Frage schon.
Okay, merk dir mal die Position deiner Füße, du kannst ja auch anschauen. Ah, okay, jetzt hast du versucht nicht, hast du den Unterschied gemerkt im Vergleich zu vorher, wie schwierig das war, den Stand zu halten? Hast du einen Schritt gemacht?
Ja.
Mit dem hinteren Fuß. Ne, du bringst den hinteren Fuß zur Seite, weil, wenn du den annimmst, den Schlag, kannst du dadurch einen größeren Druck in dieser Richtung aufbauen, dadurch, dass du deine Stellung änderst. Jetzt ging es aber darum, diesen Druck oder diese Führung nur aus dem Zentrum ohne Schritte zu erwirken, weil möglicherweise dafür die Zeit nicht ausreicht aus der Distanz. Okay? Probier mal, ob du das hinkriegst. Check this. It's not an attack.
It's too far.
It's too far. This is better. Das waren 7 Zentimeter zu weit weg. Ne? Deswegen wäre der Angriff, jetzt ist er funktional. Okay. Aber dann ist die Wirkung auch unmittelbar. Ja? Einmal. Ja. I'm checking because do you think this is a Hanmi position? Ah, okay, just. Ah, okay. Oh, I see. Yeah. All right. Yeah, the camera is exactly behind Josef. He's great for sitting there. No, it's okay. Now, okay, maybe, well, I'm not sure if you asked that, but maybe some people would ask, yeah, but why do you do that? Why this kind of conditions? Why this practice? Well, I would say, like, yes, you must. This is the most difficult way to apply kuzushi to the attacker if it comes out of a sudden from short distance. I mean, if you, for instance, would take some more distance, even more, one step back, of course, yes, and then attack. Of course, there's a lot of time to respond to this kind of attack. Fair enough, in kata no keko training, it would be okay because we are training the mechanics who are transported via the cutter, and not the function in terms of am I able to take this thrust or punch or whatever. That's not the case. Now, but here now we say like, okay, shortest possible timing, taking the partner's balance. And of course, not related to something what makes it stop, but immediately applies kozushi to uke. Just when he has his attack fully evolved. So if I'm not ready, he should give me this kind of impulse and really hit, and then it would cause a damage or it would be dangerous or whatever you want to say. But this should be exactly the moment where we apply kozushi, where you lose your balance. When you think, now I have you, then it's done. Okay? Try again to find ikkyo, moten, oder function. This was. Oh, gut. Yeah, ja, war gut. Josef, o願いします。 ist hier jetzt nicht Kata, ne, sondern
Ja, aber ist das halt, ist das auch so eine, sagen wir mal, von Konfiguration, dass man sagt, das ist jetzt so eine Art von Distanz auseinander, sowas, oder? Hm.
es gibt einen Begriff im Schwert, wo man in dem Abstand von einem Schritt, also diesen Distanz agieren muss. So die kürzeste Distanz, die möglich ist. Ich habe leider vergessen, wie diese beschreibt.
Aber es gibt so ja. Was hat sowas?
Okay. Too many cameras here.
Kamera 1, Kamera 2.
はい、どうぞ。故郷。Hinterarm.
Also hier vorne kurz auf und dann
Ja, der vordere, der kommt hoch, als würdest du dich schützen, aber dann tauchst du ein. So. Ich glaube, das war die andere Seite. War schon nicht schlecht, aber du musst auf ihrer Außenseite sein. Ja, Innenseite, okay. Und jetzt hineingehen.
noch einig.
Okay. Sorry, this is a stolen form. I always remember from Kuribas Sensei, first time I received that in Hungary seminar, maybe the Hungarian, if they watch, they will remember that's 15 or more years ago. And I felt like he became invisible and reappeared in front of me. Because if you have a, let's say, relatively long reach and you can go suddenly, you probably think like that's difficult to change the position. As we practiced before in the ikkyo, or in this kind of practice, there's not much time. So the idea is to change position and be inside just in the moment when uke attacks, not after. So technique is already done. Now there's more than one possible application to do this kind of kokyu-ho or kokyu-nage or sukumen iriminage kokyu, however we want to call it. In this specific one, it's like taking the backside into position. My, in this case, left hand comes in front of the partner. So sometimes you may feel your front hand would lead before you step in with the backside. But you also could go immediately and enter. But don't try to dodge the attack by your upper body and stay, because that's when uke becomes really, let's say, solid or grounded or stable again. If I don't move, it's him taking over the spot where I should be. So I come inside. And the step work is like, it's like a sudden start if you want to move. You actually drop weight and replace your feet by that to step forward. Okay? So you don't wait. It's the opposite of what we practiced before, where I have not yet moved at all. Now we move to get the position, and there's almost nothing to do by arms. Okay? So actually it's body what collides into the body of the partner. So, one more time. Du gehst an ihm vorbei, aber eigentlich gehst du nicht an ihm vorbei, sondern hinein. Ne? Nicht hier und da, sondern hier ist der Platz. Okay? Okay. Deine Schulter war jetzt so, aber die will geöffnet sein. Nicht hier, sondern als würden wir bei Sukumen Iriminal Kukyo unseren Arm ganz vor den Partner führen. Nicht dahin. So, in dieser Position. Die Schulterachse ist komplett in der Länge, inklusive Schlüsselbein und Schulterblatt nach vorne geführt. Okay, check this again. Now, okay, this is just one interpretation. It's not the form, but if you want to do this form, you have to figure out this step work. Well, think again, the other side, please. You do Shomen Uchi and stay where you are, Shomen Uchi. Boom. Now, my position is here. So, all my shoulder axis and my forearm, or my forward arm, is in the same line. It's not like this, it's like that. And of course, I step behind Björn. So, my arm inclusively, my thumb, and the shoulder axis are on the same line while stepping behind the partner. Okay, that's the situation. So most of you, I see, there is another form possible to do with a turning and facing the partner. That's also one of the forms what we practice. And there's plenty others, or some others. But now we're actually cutting in. Because you know exactly from this short distance his position within the Shomen-uchi attack. Okay? If he comes, I know exactly this will be his position. Now go again. There, he will land with his foot, and his, of course, hand goes towards my head, but he cannot go further because I am here. If you would go further, so more way in this direction, you probably would hit me with your elbow, but not with your hand. Now, and you cannot do less because then you won't reach me. So I know exactly this is the distance we will face. Now I just have to do in exactly the moment when he arrives there, my change of position. Not before, not later. Okay? see the alignment of your shoulder axis and the forearm, forward arm, and where the feet is placed. Okay? Try again, a little bit more. So now, there was a slight bend in your upper body instead of going straight. So, because of you bend, you're actually in this position arriving. Now, okay, if I manage to get up, his falling direction will turn there. That's an indicator, therefore, you are not upright. Now, the problem, as he already showed, is if I tilted my upper body in this position, it's actually perfect for instance, Kushinage Kaishiwaza. Now, I need to go straight in, so I am in a position where he's not able to do it. And it feels like a wedge. Actually, if I would split him up, so he goes out of balance. So it's not something like this, because this U position is perfect and mine is awkward. It's your position is awkward, mine is stable. So therefore, you need to concentrate on this line, walk. Okay. Also die Schritttechnik ist tatsächlich kein Schrittwechsel, sondern ein Vorwärtsschritt in dem Moment, wo er auch nach vorne geht. I showed two different forms, by the way. Mir fällt gerade ein, dass ich zwei verschiedene Schritttechniken gezeigt habe. Die zweite, die noch schärfer ist als die erste, hat eine andere Schrittform. Mein Gott, bin ich doof. Okay, sorry. This was the first form. Wow, I didn't recognize. Yeah, that's this one. Oh, I made a mess. Sorry.
Was sind die beiden Unterschiede?
Yeah, there's. Oh dear, I made a mess. I showed you two different techniques in once and argued you should do this and that. I'm sorry. I was showing two different form or step ways. The one was using this motion and then stepping afterwards, and the other one was stepping immediately with the backside. Did you recognize that? I didn't. I'm sorry. This was already two different ways to apply this form. As you see, super slow motion. In the one form, I step like that to get in place, and then apply the nagare. And in the other form, other side again, the other form, I was going immediately to apply by stepping inside. Do you want to try both? Did you see the difference?
I have to go
Yes. So you can, of course, try both. This way. It's a different setup than this way. Okay, try. I confused everybody. Oh dear. Hi. Hi. So this is the land of confusion. It's a great song. Yeah. Well, we resolve this confusion next time. Maybe the second class, I don't know. Okay, 終わります。ありがとうございました。どうぞ。
Practice or one? Because I couldn't get the movement.
The movement, yeah, there were two different. I showed two different ways. I'm sorry.
Because I had only one.
Yeah, one is enough basically. There's one direct immediate step inwards, what has to be very precise in timing, and the other one was like to change the position to the front of the partner. The step work was a little bit different, but both of them are possible to do. Anyhow, that was great confusion. I checked the video and see what I was doing there. Okay. All right. Good night. Next week there's no training because it's Pfingsten. It's a bank holiday on Monday.
Okay.
All right.
Thank you.
Take care.
2 weeks.
Bye.